Hello everyone, this is CY once again. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to look at my DF54, which I've been using it for the past 8 months, and today it will be the first time I actually open up the grinder and sort of clean the grinder up to see whether actually there's any cleaning or maintenance needed. So without further ado, let's get started. And before we continue, do consider hitting the subscribe and like button now. It does help us a lot so that we can continue to make a lot of good video for all of you. Alright, so what sits in front of you is actually the first DF54 which I actually use, and I've been using every day since I believe it's July last year. So let's open up and see whether there's actually any maintenance needed. So let's just remove the empty popcorn, right, and then we're going to get a Allen key, right, to remove the grinding indicator, and then I'm going to remove the grinding collar. Right, so this is the Allen key. I believe the grinder does come with its own Allen key. So let's remove this. Right, this is very small, so it tends to get lost, especially if you use vacuum. So always keep this aside so that it doesn't get vacuum up. Right, so now you can see there are some coffee powder that's inside, but then how dirty it is inside, let's take a look. You can see the DF54, it can get quite bad with static. I'm also going to take out the exit chute, and then I'm going to check what's the situation of the declumper inside as well for today. So let's unlock this. Right, so this is the first time I ever clean this grinder after 8 months. So a lot of customer and friends and buyers of the DF54 ask me, how often do you actually need to service and clean the grinder? My answer to that is, if it is not choke, don't even bother cleaning it, because there's no need to, unless you are using a very dark roast. Right, so let's take a look at the grinder. Right, you can see how clean the grinder is. Look at the burrs. Basically, there are some coffee powder, but the coffee powder doesn't get stuck onto the burr set itself, so they are still very clean. Right, of course there are some coffee ground there, but these are minor issues. Right, if you take a look at the inside, this is much cleaner as compared to the DF64 Gen 1. Right, you can see basically there's no coffee powder inside at the corner. And the tolerance of the DF54, it's very precise. There's not much room for the coffee ground to get collected. And the bellow, even though it's small but it's mighty, it is able to bellow out most of the coffee. So since we already opened up, so we must as well just clean up the grinder a little bit. Right, so usually I like to use a soft brush to sort of brush out all the coffee. And then what I'm going to do is I will try to remove this and then remove this and then see what's underneath there. Right, and I would like to use a vacuum, right, to vacuum up everything that's inside there. So it can get a little bit noisy, so please bear with me. Right, same thing for the upper burr carrier. I'm just going to dust it, and I believe it will be as good as new. So don't even bother to open the grinder if it is not choke. You know, there's no need to actually service the grinder. You can see after 8 months, the burrs are still very sharp. It's like new. You don't even see any wear and tear to the burr itself. Right, let's vacuum again. Okay, before that, let's just dust everything else. Right, basically, you can see the design of this DF54 and DF64 Gen 2. Right, you can see if you open up your grinding collar, which is your grind adjustment ring, and the spring here is actually the one that you press against to get different size, different grind setting. So now it is clean. Right, at the moment I have already removed the burr from its burr carrier to do a thorough cleaning. And before I move on to other parts and install the burr brake, I just want to share with you there's actually a declumper there. Right, let me try to poke it so that you can see. Right, there's a flap there. Over time this flap will actually get worn off. Can you see the flap there? Right, this is the flap. Right, when you try to if let's say one day your coffee grinder it's choke, right, and if you try to push, you know, the coffee ground through here, you may actually damage this flap here. Usually you will not get damaged, you may get folded up. So what you need to do is just get the Allen key, right, just to push it back to position, right, and because it has been worn and used already, so it will never be staying flat, right, so it will never be closed, so you'll be slightly open, and that's perfectly normal. Right, so now let's install the burr back. Right, and underneath the burr there is actually an O-ring, which is actually, they actually started to issue this I believe in DF64 Gen 1 version 4 onwards. So this is where you install the ring back, right, and then you just have to position your burrs, right, and make sure you lock it up. If one day you want to remove your burrs to clean, right, make sure that you remove the coffee that's stuck in between these screws. Otherwise you may actually re-stripping the screws. And one more thing is, make sure that if you want to unscrew this, because this burr is actually movable, you need some sort of a wrench to hold in position, and you cannot hold this on too tightly because this actually holds the burr carrier to the motor, so sometimes this can actually get loosened. So be careful if you are doing this by yourself. So let me just make sure that I can lock it up properly. So now let's screw the burr back. I need this to hold the burr in position. Okay. Okay, usually I will make sure that all the 3 screws be screwed in position first before I tighten it down. Okay, you can see that it's free to move. So what you need to do is you need a wrench to hold it in position. Don't have to be very tight. Okay, this is good enough. Okay, so it's free to spin, everything is good. So now let's install everything else back. So you can see now everything is as good as new, right? And the position to install back is always, remember, this is your 6 o'clock position, right? And make sure your upper burr sit nicely. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Okay, everything is good. Okay, now let's install the top back. Remember, this is locked in position, so I will take the opportunity to brush everything that's stuck there. Make sure that there's no coffee ground. Now let's close up the ring. The ring should be very easy to lock in. Right, it should not take any effort to screw back. Right, and it should return back to 0 at the 6 o'clock position. Okay, so this is why you lock it. And then finally your anti-poke pond back. Okay, I'm going to switch on the grinder to see whether my burr touch point is exactly at 0. Right, so let's turn on the grinder. Oh, you can see the burrs already touching. You can see mine is exactly at the 0 point, which is very accurate. So I'm going to install the burr barrier back. I have to make one correction. This is actually the mobile one, which I will be turning this to adjust the grinder. The one I mentioned that's adjusted here is actually the DF64V. So I got the information wrong. So this is just to correct what I've done wrongly or explained wrongly just now. This is the fixed position, and this is the one that it's used to adjust the grind setting. Please pardon me. Now let's lock this back. So you can see now I'm exactly at 0. Alright, so the cleaning has been completed, and then you can see that there's actually not much cleaning needed to be done on this grinder. So everything is very new, very good. There's not much coffee ground that's trapped inside there, as long as you bellow properly every time. So thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.